Morning Primer, your daily boost for the mindset and motivation Monday.
Quick, focused, and made for agents.
By KGCI, Real Estate on Air.
Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Randy Dick, and this is the Return on Life podcast. So happy to be here. I've got some exciting things to share with you today on fear. Oh no, fear. What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about when we talk about fear? Hey, if you've been following, if you like this podcast, if you like what I share, hey, you got to hit the subscribe button. Get going. Let's do this. I would love you to be a subscriber. But we're going to talk about fear today. Yeah, fear. What do you think of when you hear that word, fear? Does it paralyze you? Does it excite you? Does it motivate you? Does it make you go, okay, here we go? Because fear for many, many people is it's a four-letter word, and it is a scary word, and it also starts with F. So, this is a topic that a lot of people struggle with, and I've used fear in my life extensively to help me. And so I want to share some things about fear that I think is really, really powerful, no matter where you're at. But it's really about, the journey of authentic living. There's always something that's going to come up in our lives that is going to scare us. It's going to make us fearful. And yet we're told that fear is all around and that we better watch out for fear. Think about that. You're on a trail and it's on the edge of a cliff. We know that is dangerous. That should be fearful to us. Yet, the wisdom of people, they put up a fence, which even makes it okay. It is really scary because they put up a fence. It's very, very fearful to be next to that cliff. And then on top of that, they even put up a sign saying, danger, don't go too close to the fence or don't jump over the fence because there's a cliff. Well, of course. But here it is. Here's the deal. Fear lives everywhere. And I think that fear is one of those things that is really, really powerful for us. And I'm going to say, we need to be willing to embrace fear. And we need to be willing to embrace ignorance and become as if we don't know anything about something and get it into a classroom again, because this is where we expand not only our knowledge, but the body of our knowledge and the body of work that we will be allowed to expand our minds. Think about that. I am going to talk about fear, and I want you to be with an open mind. One of the fundamentals of human behavior is that we do not have an open mind. I'm telling you right now, open up your mind to this concept of fear and what fear can do for you. It can be, like I said, paralysis. It can cause you to just, get stuck. People, urinated in their pants because they're so afraid or the fear has taken over them. But I'm going to hopefully give you some ideas of how fear can be your best agent, your ally, your good agent in a sense. And so here's what we're going to walk through. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what growth requires, because in order for us to understand this, we need to grow and be vulnerable in a sense. So true learning begins when we admit what we don't know. Do you really know everything about fear? If you don't, admit that and be open-minded. The willingness to be a beginner opens the door to mastery. Think about that. The willingness to be a beginner at whatever it is opens the door to mastery. You never become good at something that you've never done without opening the door and then doing it over and over and over again. So today we're going to do that. We're going to open the door and talk about fear. And again, your comfort zone is the enemy of your potential. So if you think you've got fear figured out, and you just park it in the corner, you never go there, you never do anything that scares you, that makes you fearful, that nothing, you're not going to put yourself in those positions, well, then you're in that zone where you're never going to really grow and find the true potential of who you are. So that's really, really important. pain, so to speak, is the doorway. So pain unlocks a secret door to your mind. Think about that. Pain unlocks a secret door to your mind, one that leads to peak performance and beautiful silence. See, when you unlock that secret door through being in pain, you're going to find your true peak performance, and that is a beautiful silence when you think about that. So transformation through challenge, of course. Transformation through challenge. But I want to talk to you a little bit about fear. Fear is really what I really want to talk about. And I would say fear is not your friend. I know some people talk about fear as my friend. I'm going to talk about fear is your trusted agent. Your trusted agent. See, fear can bring you an understanding and guide you and help you think more about what's coming. And it's almost like a sixth sense to whatever you're doing. Fear is that beautiful thing that causes you to really get sensory on something that may not. Think about that. If you're skiing and you come across a super, super steep slope and you're about to go in a place that you've never gone before, the fear of falling makes you that much better. It just gives you more sensitivity to what you need to do to not fall and not be reckless. So fear is the good agent that helps you along the way. And I've done this time and time and time again where fear has just motivated me. In fact, fear of failure is a powerful, powerful motivator for me. And I don't want to fail. So the fear of failing pushes me to just be better and be sharper and have my senses and do more preparation so I don't have that. It's really things that are of adversity, and the more mini tests of fear, the mini tests of adversity that come along my way, the more resilience I have in those situations and the higher threshold I have on whether it's adversity or fear. Higher adversity, higher fear levels because of the mini testing that I have been doing. So super, super worthy to be fearful. Fearful is a very, very good thing. And we need to master this concept of fear. So discover that peaceful place when you go, okay, I know this is fear. I've got this. And that peace is going to give you a breakthrough when fear does come your way. That peace is going to allow you to break down barriers and find a piece of you that you didn't know. It's almost like that underdog DNA, because that they have links to it. The underdog DNA and the piece of fear is where they really come together. And sometimes the more fearful you are, the more underdog spirit comes out of you, and the more that is then going to help you conquer whatever is causing you to be fearful. So you got to face that shadow. Face that fearful shadow. Find your real self is what fear is going to do. And face a shadow. Don't be afraid to live in a little bit of fear. It's going to really stretch you. Really, really going to stretch you. So your shadow contains your greatest power, yet your deepest fears. Think about that. Your shadow, your fear shadow, contains your greatest power, but also your deepest fears or potential wounds. I'm going to say, deny parts of yourself that drain or hold you back from pushing through those fears. Deny those pieces, because you need to do that. And if you're not there, and it doesn't have to be a great big leap of fear. I've seen some people, and I've been in the presence of others, where just getting on a helicopter or just getting into a boat where they've had a bad experience in the water causes a lot of anxiety, which is anxiety and fear. But overcoming that and finding their real self and realizing, oh gosh, that wasn't that bad. And the sensory that goes off in that can sometimes be liberating, healing, and empowering. Liberating, healing, and empowering when you can push through a sense of fear. How many of you have jumped off a bridge, bungee jumped, skydived, leaped off a large cliff, a tall cliff into a body of water? I mean, the feeling that you feel in your tummy, it's really, really interesting. I don't know if you felt that, but it is liberating. It is freeing. It unlocks a piece of you that you didn't know. So I really want to have you face some of that fear, the shadows that you have within you. And it really helps you author a new life, so to speak. You're the only one holding you back, by the way. Nobody else is holding you back. You're the only one holding yourself back. So jump into that zone of fear, whatever level that is. If it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's only a 2. Start at 2 and then move to 3, move to 4. I'm just going to encourage you. You're authoring your own life, and fear holds you back from experiencing some great things. So only you hold yourself back. How do you want your book to read? Hey, this is the story. How do you want your book to read when it's over and done with? You're the creator of your story. This is your life that you're writing through your daily choices, through choosing fear or not choosing fear. How do you want that to end? And small decisions like this really do create a legacy. Yeah. Too often I think we get to, the end of our time and we just go, gosh, I didn't really experience enough. And this is where scaring yourself or finding where you're fearful and pushing through some of those things can really create a piece of legacy that you can't create if you do not push yourself. So the question isn't what's possible, it's what do you want your story to read? How are you choosing to write your story? That is the cool piece. And I'm going to bring a little bit of God into this. I think that God has a perspective here, and I believe that God knows everything, and He knows where you're fearful, but He's there to help you. And whatever your faith is, I think there's a source that there will be there to support you, whatever that is. So visualize the long line as you wait for that interview with whoever that is. In my case, it's going to be God. It's going to be Jesus. And that interview is going to show me my life chart and what I pushed myself through. And I think there's going to be that discovery at the end as well. So I really hope that you live a life that you can say at the end, I am worthy of this. Thank you for this life, and thank you for these experiences that I had. So really, be part of what that is. Be in the space that you know that you are actually challenging yourself in all ways. So as the fear journey continues, as you push whatever level that you're at, 1, 2, 3. And by the way, here's the time to hit subscribe. If this is freaking you out, you better subscribe to this channel, because Return on Life is really about that, getting more out of life. So master your fears by this. Here's how this can continue. Master your fears by embracing discomfort as the path to growth. Find peace through that honest confrontation of fear. What is the honest confrontation that you're facing when you think of fear? Writing your story with intentional courage. It takes courage to be in a fear zone. And living in alignment with your deepest purpose is certainly going to scare you once in a while. Yes. Master your fear. And allow fear not to be your friend, but your good agent. The agent that supports you, that helps you, that gives you direction when you need direction. And I just encourage you to embrace fear as your good agent. Hey, thanks for joining me here on Return to Life on Podcast. My name is Randy Dick. I would love for you to subscribe and hit that subscribe button right now. We're on all channels, and I am grateful that you're here. Hey, go and live your life. Return on Life. It's all about that. Chase it. Let's go get it. Appreciate you.